What's up, YouTube? I'm Yasmin Woodland and welcome back to my channel. Today I will be talking about Kailyn Lowry actually saying that she will welcome Jenelle to her podcast called Coffee Convos to actually set the record straight about what has been going on with David Eason and her entire situation, that has been going on with him. So if you all don't know, Kailyn Lowry has a podcast called Coffee Convos, and she does it alongside her friend Lindsay Chrisley. Now, they have had a lot of episodes on their podcast. It's actually super successful. I listen to a little bit of her podcast whenever I do have time, so it seems like a really interesting podcast. Now, I took to Twitter, or I actually was skimming through Twitter, and someone had actually asked Kailyn Lowry that, about the Jenelle situation, saying like, hey, would you ever put Jenelle on your podcast if this entire divorce situation is true? And Kailyn Lowry responded, and she said, for sure. I mean, I texted in a group text with my producers, but I just don't have Jenelle's contact information. So I think it's kind of crazy that Kailyn is actually saying like, yeah, sure, I would totally have Jenelle Evans on my podcast. I mean, even giving our past with one another. I mean, Kailyn Lowry and Jenelle Evans, I mean, we all know they have never really gotten along together. They've always been going at each other's throats. I mean, Jenelle Evans really set Kailyn Lowry's hair products on fire, and did a whole video about it. So they've never really gotten along. So I think this is kind of crazy how Kailyn is just like, yeah, I'll welcome her to my podcast and see if she wants to set the record straight, because as we all know, Jenelle and David have been going through a lot. I mean, ever since they first got into a relationship, it never really seemed stable. I mean, you have all these accusations of abuse. You have all these 911 calls. I mean, let's not forget she called 911 a lot of times throughout the midst of, living on the land. And there has been a lot of allegations against him, from abusing her to abusing her children. And I mean, a lot of things has happened. So I don't know. I kind of went on and I checked out Kailyn's podcast online, and I just went to go see like what is her recent episodes about. So I am really eager to see if she's actually going to put Jenelle on her podcast. I haven't heard anything in regards to Jenelle actually like reaching out saying, hey, I'll come to your podcast and I'll actually talk about what exactly happened between David and I, what happened in our marriage, how have our marriage been, how has the kids been, because Jenelle said that she is allegedly no longer living on the land. So, I mean, to put Jenelle on the podcast and to get some inside scoop, some juicy news, some details on what exactly was happening would be really insightful, I feel. And I feel like Jenelle should try to get on her podcast to try to get her side of the story out, because no one truly knows like what the truth really even is. So I just decided to go through her podcast for you all, just so you all can see like her website and see her coffee convos, see her merchandise and stuff like that. I urge you all to go check out Kailyn Lowry's podcast. I mean, it seems like she does really good work. So I don't know, everyone. What do you all think about this? Do you think that Jenelle will actually, go on her podcast and accept that invitation to talk about exactly what is happening in their divorce? Do you all think this divorce is even true? A lot of people say it's a hoax because you have to be legally separated for like a year to even file for divorce in the state of North Carolina. So that is new news to me. I didn't know that. So me, I do my own personal research just so I'm not like spewing just, lies or anything like that to you all. So I did my research. And according to the North Carolina law, it states that the grounds for divorce are that the couple must have lived separate and apart for at least 1 year, and that one party must have resided in North Carolina for 6 months prior to the filing of the action. Now, it states that you can also apply for divorce on the basis of incurable insanity. So I'm just like, okay, that's a little odd, but yes, it states that they have to be at least separate for at least 1 year to file for divorce. So I'm just like, well, how are they going to file for divorce if they haven't even been separated for an entire year? So I don't know what's true about this entire Jenelle is starting the process to divorcing. I don't really know what's going on. I'll just be on standby to update you all on that. But nonetheless, I will be on the lookout to see if Jenelle accepts Kailyn Lowry's invitation to go on her podcast, Coffee Convos, because I think that will be a really really interesting podcast if Jenelle is just truthful and opens up about a lot of stuff that was going on behind the scenes, just to give her fans some insight on what exactly was happening with her. I think Jenelle just thinks that people are against her, but people really care about her. I think people are still fans of her. People are only so invested into this situation because they care about the children and they care about her well-being. So I think Jenelle should just be truthful and be honest. So what do you all think about this situation? Do you think Kailyn Lowry will actually put her on their podcast? Do you think Jenelle will accept this invitation? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. I am Yasmin Woodland, and until next time.